She is known as one of the top 1% real estate agents in the state of Texas.
You want to be successful in real estate? This is the new normal.
In 2025, the best agents aren't the ones being hired. The most well-known ones are.
Client follow-up. Newsflash, the money is in the follow-up. If you're not following up with your clients, somebody else is.
Agents will never truly be able to build a long-lasting, thriving, successful business if you live in that fear.
You find growth in discomfort. While we were in real estate school, they'll be like, yeah, you're lucky if you get 2 or 3 deals your first day. I just rejected that. I was like, absolutely not. I want to have 30.
Welcome to the Elite Way podcast, where we interview business owners, entrepreneurs, and leaders in the marketplace operating their businesses the elite way. Today we have a real estate agent. She is known as one of the top 1% real estate agents, not only in the Dallas-Fort Worth market, but in the state of Texas. And so in just under 3 years, she's built a multi-million-dollar business. You are going to want to watch until the end because that's when she drops her most precious nuggets. So without further ado, today we have Mariah Kessler on the podcast. So excited to have you here. It was pulling teeth to get you on here. You're so busy.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm super excited to do this with you today, and it feels like such a privilege, and I don't even feel like I should be doing this, but thanks for having me.
You know what? In just 3 years, you have built something very respectable, a business that so many agents really look up to. And so you've definitely earned everything you're building, everything you have. And my favorite thing is how much you love what you do, and you really do it for the people that you serve. And so that's awesome.
Yes, I have such a passion. I feel like that's the driving factor to get up and do this day in and day out. And just the grind, real estate is no joke. Anybody who's successful and closes it, large number of deals, knows how exhausting it is. And if you don't have that passion, you're not going to get to the finish line.
For sure. Okay, so look at this. Before we talk about more on the emotional side of the real estate business and so on, let's get right into it, okay? Most agents get into this business and their first goal, now obviously our heart is to always serve people, but we also have business goals, and real estate agents jump into the industry and their first goal is to make 100K. It's kind of like this staple thing that every agent, it's okay, I want to make 100K this year, And so most agents never hit it, and so many agents, it takes a lot of years to be able to build a business that makes you an income like that and so on. You hit it your first year, and you were also sharing with me, you had your first 2 deals, your first month being licensed. What were you doing differently that truly made you stand out and allowed you to just hit the ground running?
Absolutely. That's a great question. So one thing I did while I was in real estate school, it was about 6 weeks to go through that real estate program. And the entire time I'm building my brand and I'm not even licensed yet.
Dude, so good.
Yeah. I was so confident that I was going to pass the test and pass the test the first time. I had email signatures made. I had headshots before I was even licensed, business card. My branding was going to be pink. I had my whole business plan and I wasn't even licensed. So a lot of people, they go through real estate school, takes them 60 days to pass a test, and they sign on to a brokerage and they onboard for 60 days. I expedited that process. In day 1 in real estate, I had my business cards already. So I just hit the ground running. I would pick up the phone calls at my first office. We would get phone calls, and I would just sit by that phone all day and pick up leads, and I would really just talk to them, get to know them, show them houses, and within my first 2 weeks of being licensed, I had my first deal under escrow.
That's crazy. Most agents, they are just scared to death of the phones, number one, and a lot of agents, and it's kind of true, but it's definitely not true. You were funneling leads via Op City you were saying, right? Like as a new agent, my gosh, that is a grind to do because most of those leads are pretty much like, fluff leads. They are dead leads and so on. But you were like, if this is what I have to do to build a business, I'm going to hit the phones, call every single number that comes in. And so what do you credit to that, like, you had that mindset? Like, what in you? Were you raised that way? Is it just in you? Like, most agents really struggle with like having the mindset that, hey, you just have to put your head down and whatever it is, you have to go and do it every single day. What in you like makes you like that?
I think you're absolutely right. It's definitely a mindset. I've had it since I was a young child. A really deep core belief that I 100% believe with every bone in my body. If I work hard and put in 100% every single day, I can't fail. There's no option to fail. And if I look back on my life, on the things that I put in 100% effort, I don't think I've failed on anything that I've tried. So every day I wake up with passion and like, what can I do today? What can I knock out? What can I, take on the day? And I just see the fruit of that by just consistent hard work and just knowing like I can't fail. It's a really positive mindset thing.
That's wild. So heading back, okay, so you're in real estate school, and while you were in school, you were already building your business. You were working on your branding, working on your messaging and so on. It's wild how many agents like just wait. How many agents truly don't understand that like your business really starts the moment you say, I am going to sign up for school and obtain my license. Like that day is when your business begins. And so one of the things I really encourage agents to continually do is, hey, document and share your journey. Even if you're in school, hey guys, I'm working on my my licensing, and this is what I'm doing this week. This is what I'm doing for my business. How did you know how to do that? Like what you heard it somewhere, watched a podcast, read a book. Like, how did you understand my business starts now? I'm going to start doing social media now. I'm going to start working on my branding now, on my email now. Like, where's that from?
I think I've always tried to do things differently, and I never wanted to like follow the normal path. So to me, it just seemed at the time very logical, hey, in 2 months, I'm going to be licensed. I need to hit the ground running. My goal is to be an amazing realtor off the bat. I didn't want to have the 6 months waiting period where I didn't have a deal. While we were in real estate school, they'll be like, yeah, you're lucky if you get 2 or 3 deals your first day or first year.
First year, yeah.
And I just rejected that. I was like, absolutely not. I'm not going to have 3 deals my first year. I want to have 30. And so from the get-go, they were setting realistic expectations with us in a real estate school that one in 5 of you were going to make it. And I'm like, I'm going to be that 1 in 5, trust me. And so I just wanted to set myself up for success. And to me, that's what it looked like, was having all my ducks in a row to where I signed on with my brokerage. I'm ready to close some deals.
That's cool. Okay, so right now, what's your main source of business, like lead gen? Is it your database? Is it phone calls? Is it social media, open houses? Where does most of your current business come from?
2 categories. Finally starting to get referrals. So I try to create a very streamlined, stress-free process, and I try to make the home buying and selling process very memorable for my clients. So I do get that referral business.
What do you do for that? How's it memorable?
It's relationship-based. You can talk to any of my clients. I love my clients, all the way down to my core, and they love me too. It's really just creating that real relationship to where they don't think it's just a transaction to you, that it's a real meaningful relationship, and which it is to me. Yeah. So I think it's the bond. It's not, I give great service, but it's really that bond to where I receive the referrals back to me.
Yeah.
And then the other lead source is definitely social media, which I'm kind of like new to within the last 14 months. That's when I've started picking up social media, and I've definitely seen my business double from using social
Wow,
media.
really?
Yes.
Okay, so is it Facebook? Is it Instagram, TikTok, YouTube? What do you use?
It's Instagram and Facebook. And so just like my normal posts do great, but I've also really done super well at learning Facebook ads.
Yeah.
And I make a very targeted video talking about, an amazing deal. Builders are offering amazing deals, and I'll highlight that and make a Facebook ad, and I'll get so many inquiries, and I would say the Facebook ads are like a really great thing for my business.
That's wild. And so, like, okay, so when using social media, people probably DM you, or they will fill out, like a worksheet and so on. What's your process of like going from either a DM to in person and or a phone call, or what's your follow up like systems when you're running ads and people are just like interested, and it's all these numbers, it's all these emails. Like, how do you get people from online to like either on a phone call or face to face in person?
So first and foremost, I take everyone seriously. If somebody has the drive to message me, I'm going to take them seriously. Like, they're reaching out to me to buy a home. And I think that goes back to my Op City days. People always called them like fluff leads, or like, Mariah, how are you converting those? I took them seriously. They're calling me looking to buy a house.
Love that. Yeah.
And if somebody asks you that, typically, they've thought about it in order to reach out to a realtor. So first and foremost, I take every lead seriously. And then I immediately try to get them on the phone as quickly as possible, because I do think, if they're really that serious and they want to buy a home in the next 6 months, they're going to get on a phone call with me.
Amazing.
Yep.
I always encourage agents, get out of your DMs or online as fast as possible. Because when people are speaking online, they still have this kind of like, I don't have to respond to you if I don't want to, or like they'll ask you and ask you and ask you, and then they can go ghost on you. You know what I'm saying? And so the goal is, how fast can I get them either on a call or book an appointment with them, And so I absolutely love that's what you do. It's like, hey, how fast can I move them from online, where I have no control over them, to a phone call where, hey, now I can actually control this conversation, and hopefully it's, something awesome from that place and so on, And so, okay, so so with social media and so on, like, are you on Reels? Do you do lives, like stories? What's working for you in 2025? Because it's constantly shifting, right? And like, the messaging really has to be well and so on. What works for Mariah?
Absolutely. So there's so many different like platforms to use, and the most beneficial for me and my business has definitely been Reels, and then targeting that reel to trigger a response. If you're just posting a house with no kind of response, nobody's going to DM you. But on every single one of my videos, you'll see something that says message home 15 for more information, or click the link in my bio to book a buyer's consultation. So now they're viewing that video and they're reading the text on the screen, it literally tells them to book a call with me. And look, you can pick your time. If Saturday at 4 p.m. works best for you, click the time, book a call, like, let's chat. But I'm never posting videos with no, response, like no triggering question. So triggering questions are huge for like getting conversion, because I've met so many realtors who are huge on social media. I'm talking like millions of followers, but when I talk to them, they're like, yeah, I closed like 30 deals last year, which is great.
They have super low conversion rates, correct?
Conversion.
That happens a lot.
Taking people seriously, getting them on the phone, follow up, and being quick. I recently had a funny story. Somebody had booked a call, and I called her at the appropriate time, and she's like, oh my gosh, thank you so much for calling me. I had booked 3 or 4 different buyer's consultation calls with another realtor, and she never called me out of the 3 appointments that I
That
had
is
booked.
insane.
Yeah.
I can't believe that. It's wild.
Yeah. So just, I mean, being available for your people on top of everything and having good social media.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so how often are you on there? Like, are you making a reel a day? Are you like, is it for a week? What's it look like? Like your social media cadence and so on,
I strive to do one a day. It doesn't always happen. Obviously, we live busy lives. I just hired an assistant to handle some of that for me. But the goal is one a day and at least 4 or 5 stories a day too.
Gotcha. Yeah, you hit it hard on your stories, huh? Like, I've heard, and also from experience, that so much really comes from stories when it comes to people that, well, especially people they like to interact with you on stories and so on. How many stories are you making a day, and like, what do you post in stories? I like stories because in one day it's gone, so if it's a dumb story, if it's a whatever story, like in 24 hours, it's done, right?
Absolutely.
What do you post?
I love to post like about my life. And again, that's something that I've seen change. The more I started posting on stories and like showed people I was working every day
Yeah.
and working hard, people were like, oh my gosh, I want her. She's a hardworking realtor. Like she's out there hustling. I'll show people like what I'm eating, my coffee order, my La La Land order. That's a really popular story.
What do you get there?
I get the iced La La latte with caramel drizzle. Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Fire.
All right. Mine's the lavender matcha.
Of course it
It's
is.
so good. Add a shot though. That's amazing drink there. But anyway, okay. And then so like, yeah, your coffee drinks, behind the scenes, you're working, you're showing houses.
And for the consumer, like that is the easiest thing for for them to message you on and be like, oh my gosh, I love La La Land. And then you're like, oh, what's your order? Just exactly how we did. You have that same interaction with them. Or I'll post that I'm at the Rangers game. They're like, I love the Rangers game. I'm actually here too. I've had that happen where me and my client were at the Rangers game at the same time.
That's cool.
But it's just a good point for you to connect with your followers and they don't feel awkward about just randomly DMing you. They're swiping up on your story, right?
Yeah. Okay, so you are very active on social. You're on video, okay? Did you ever fear putting yourself out there?
Absolutely. I'm not the like most well-spoken or polished person, and I never like will claim to be. And so speaking on camera was a big hurdle for me. My first 12 months, I hardly spoke on camera.
Really?
Yeah.
I would have never guessed that. That's great. Okay.
But just getting over that hurdle, if you want to be successful in real estate, this is the new normal. If you're
So true.
not showing up on camera,
So true.
it's going to show in your business and your numbers. Or people like me are like not steal your clients, but your clients are going to go to them because they're so
100%.
prevalent. Yeah.
No, that's true. And so, in 2025, there's a phrase, I forgot where I heard it, but I always say it all the time, is that in 2025, the best agents aren't the ones being hired, the most well-known ones are. Mm-hmm. So if you're not showing up, obviously it's a plus if you're well-known and you're the best one, right? But at the end of the day, visibility is the currency of business in 2025. If you live in obscurity, no one knows who you are, no one knows what you're doing, maybe an apple might fall on your lap, like your mom wants to sell her house or whatever it is and so on, but an agent will never truly be able to build a long-lasting, thriving, successful business if you live in that fear. Now, what did you do to be like, okay, Mariah, you have to conquer this fear. And so what things were you doing that really helped you overcome that fear?
So I was 22 and I had just graduated college, just got through real estate school. And I had been 6 months in the business, but I wasn't showing up on camera yet. And I sat in my mom's office because I still lived in my mom's house at the time. And I sat there, put my phone on record on my tripod and just tried over and over to get the words out, to get more comfortable. in front of camera. But at the end of the day, it was just repetition. And at the time, I was just like locked in my mom's office making a silly
That's
little
so funny.
about me video. But now I'm able to, do things in front of people and be out in the community making videos with not a lot of nerves. They always come and go, but you have to push past them. And that's the mindset thing. It's like, this is something I have to do. And you just do it, even though it feels uncomfortable.
Okay, so what would you say to the agent who's like, I'm just, nervous. I don't like how I sound. I don't like how I look. My videos are whack. Like, what would you say to an agent who's in front of you and you just need to light a fire under them?
I would say, well, with that attitude, you're never going to make it, or in that attitude, you're never going to make a video. Everything starts with mindset, positivity, speaking like positivity over yourself. Like, I can do this. I can record this video. Obviously, you're everyone's number one hype man in the office. And you've got to believe in yourself.
Yeah.
And even if you don't, you just have to push through it and just get the video done, Just repetition will make you feel more comfortable. But it starts with a mindset, I can do this and I will do this.
I love it. Okay, so look at this. You are building an incredible business. You're en route, once again, to being top 1%, not only here in this region, okay, but in the state, even nationally. And so why do you feel, okay, so I've always had this thought, that like in 2025, like it should be hard for agents to fail in an industry where we have access to so much information, right? We have like podcasts and YouTube and trainings and conferences and seminars and books and I mean so much and so on. And so yet still so many agents fail in this industry. They can't make it in this industry, okay? From your experience, okay? You've also known a lot of agents and like see what others do, what others don't do and so on. From your perspective, why is it that most agents struggle?
I think it can be summed up to one word, and it's consistency. Whatever you do, everyone has different niches. Sometimes it's investors, cold calling. I know one girl, Emily Preston, she does open houses, and she's a top 1% agent, but that's her niche.
Wow.
But she's consistent.
Yeah.
Every Saturday and Sunday, she's out there doing open houses.
Yeah.
So hard work and then being consistent with it. Because we have a lot of agents who will have $1 million month, and then they'll fall off the face of the earth.
Then it's vacation time. It's like, yeah.
Yeah, and then wonder why they're not going to have anything for the next 6 months. So hard work, consistency, pushing past that level of discomfort, growth. You find growth in discomfort. So wherever that is for you, be in the discomfortable position.
Okay, so when you talk about, being comfortable in the uncomfortable, right? And so what was it like hitting the phones? Like, I mean, very few agents ever have like the stomach to like, just hit the phones on a list. And so many that do will know it gets exhausting just, calling and the hang-ups and the angry people and et cetera, and so from your experience, what was it like to like stomach through, you know what? Here's a list of numbers. I am going to call all these leads and we'll see what happens. Like, what was that like for you?
Uncomfortable, right? It's not something that I wanted to do fresh out of real estate school. I don't even really know how to write a contract at this point, but I'm calling these people back. Hey, this is Mariah. We had missed a call from you. You were calling on 123 Main Street. Are you still interested in that? Are you working with a realtor? And, it was uncomfortable, and a lot of them would hang up or, no, I'm not interested. Like, why are you calling me back? I don't even remember calling. It was very uncomfortable, but as soon as I had that first one that was like, oh my gosh, Thank you for calling me back. Absolutely. We're pre-approved. We're not working with a realtor. We want to look at this $500,000 house. That was enough to push me through to keep calling.
Wow.
Every no, you're one step closer to a yes.
I love that. I love that. Okay, so every single week on your schedule, what are some non-negotiables for you? Whether it's personal, whether it's business, every single week, like what are some non-negotiables for Mariah?
So first and foremost, like spending time with God. So
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. Okay.
Every Sunday, you can catch me at church.
I see it.
Worshiping.
Yeah.
It's something that is very important to my life. It's always been really important with my life. I say like a lot of my success and my well-being is because my grandmother would pray over me so much.
Wow.
So I really carry like God's favor. But time with the Lord every single day in the morning and the evening is super important to me, and it helps me stay grounded. Physical activity every morning. I don't post it every morning, but I am there.
I see you post about it. Hey, yeah. Lifetime Fitness has your membership.
Not sponsored.
Not sponsored.
But yeah, time with the Lord, physical activity, and then social media. So I've got to make sure I'm staying on top of the social media. And then client follow-up. Newsflash, like the money is in the follow-up. If you're not following up with your
100.
clients, somebody else is. I promise you, if you're not following up with your clients and you're ignoring them, not sending them homes, not calling them back, there's another agent who will and will reach out to them for business.
Yeah. Okay. So with that, how is it that you do follow up? Is it phone calls, text messages, emails, videos? You know, like what do you do?
This is crazy, but I love a voice note. Hey, good morning.
Oh yeah, voice. Okay.
And I always say, I'm driving right now, but I just wanted to send a voice note. How have y'all been? Are y'all still looking for homes? Y'all getting the auto search? What about that one on 123 Main Street? I liked it. Super cool. I love to send a voice note. I think it's more personable and sometimes easier, just so they can hear my voice. I do a lot of calls, but instead of texting, I'll send a voice note.
So good because people will just hear your voice. Yeah, I love that. I actually haven't thought about that. I am a huge fan of video, you know, so I will send videos, you know, and so on. But voice memos might be the flow better, you know, just kind of like, speaking into it. I absolutely love that. Okay, I am going to ask you about your experience now on the house buying side, helping families, and so on. But before we get into that, okay, what is the number one thing you would say that every agent needs to be doing in their business right now? Like, hey, agent, if you are not doing this in your business, like you are going to be having a hard time building a business moving forward. Like what's one non-negotiable? It's like, you know, you might be afraid of it. You might not, you also might not know how to do it right now and so on, but figure it out, conquer the fear, whatever you have to do. This is a non-negotiable for every real estate agent. What is that?
So now with the new laws, obviously a lot has changed in the last 12 months. You've got to have a really good consultation. Consultations is right now what's sealing the deal, right? We can't go look at homes until we have that consultation. We've got to sign buyer's rep. In order for them to sign that buyer's rep or the listing agreement, you've got to have a really good first impression. So again, I met a lot of agents who can get massive amount of leads, but have such a hard time converting. So we really need to master the way that you talk to people, how you introduce yourself, how you guide them through like your buyer's consultation. Hey, here's the home buying process. I'm going to lay it out for you. What questions do you have? And really just being a wealth of knowledge for your clients, because you can post on social media all day. And if you can get that number of leads and you can't convert them, you're not going to get a paycheck. So I always tell people, master your conversions, know how to speak to people, know how to handle a buyer's consultation first, and obviously get the leads, right? There's so many people out there who can get the leads, but they can't convert them.
For sure.
So what's the point?
For sure. Okay. And so when it comes to helping people, serving families, like what is one of your favorite parts about, what you do every day?
It's really the people. I love my clients. I've met so many amazing people. I've also learned a lot. So I started real estate when I was barely 22 years old.
That's wild.
And
I mean, you're still super young. What, you're 24?
24, yeah.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
Building an amazing business that young, you have an amazing career ahead of you.
But my clients have helped me like grow into the person I am. Like as a young adult, like I was navigating through so many things as a young adult, and they've really given me so much advice, life
That's cool.
advice, and
Yeah.
I've taken that, these people who I'm 21 years old and I'm working with 40-year-olds to buy their first home. They've given me so much. I wish I would have done this. I wish when I was 21 I would have done this. Mariah, you're so young, dump that boyfriend, yada, yada, yada. But I've met so many amazing people, family who like would have my back if I needed them. I can call some of my clients and they would, change my tire on the side of the road.
Yeah.
So it's the people, the relationships I've made.
Okay, so what's one story that like, you look back and it just makes you want to cry all over again?
So I love to help the people that other people wouldn't help. I've had so many times where people come to me, like, Mariah, I've been denied 3 times. I've told other realtors about my situation and they just never called me back. Like my realtor ghosted me.
Yeah, that happens a lot actually.
And I think that's so hurtful because like they want the guidance, they want to buy a home and they probably can, but the realtor who's real big on social media or whatever, they just kind of ignored them or whatever. So I've helped a lot of people purchase homes under $250, and sometimes that didn't always reflect the best in the paycheck, but I know that was a pivotal point in my business, serving people who weren't served by other people.
Yeah.
I really take a lot of pride in that. And at closing day, they're like, Mariah, thank you so much. Like we would not be here without you. And yeah.
That's awesome. I really understand that agents oftentimes, they want to focus on people and or contracts that are for now. And so very easily, whenever someone's not ready, like we kind of just like push them aside and they're gone, And so what happens is this: when agents don't have a follow-up system, right? And so that's how you can still help families out. The issue isn't that most agents probably don't want to help them out, The issue is that the agent isn't systemized, in order to keep someone like that at the forefront, not necessarily with your attention, but within your system where they still feel nurtured, someone's reaching out, someone's helping them out, and so on. And so, yeah, it's challenging for agents, whenever someone's not ready now, And so the challenge is being able to have a business that nurtures people like that with a solid follow-up system so that people never fall through the cracks. Will people fall? Absolutely, and so on, but I absolutely love when, especially agents like you that are really, really busy and so on, your focus still is, okay, what do I have to do in order to make sure this person either buys now, buys in 6 months, buys in 8 months, whatever it is? Because at the end of the day, let us not forget, as agents, we are in this business to help people get into homeownership and or achieve their real estate goals and dreams. Real quick, I was thinking about this. When it comes to when it comes to the current housing market right now, okay, like what's your advice for like people who would ask you, hey, is it a good time to buy a house right now? You know, we are in the middle of August, and the market really has been a roller coaster for the past few years. You know, rates are high one day, then they come down the next day, then they go back up, and so on. And so, what's your recommendation for people that want to buy in the current market we're in?
It's always a good time to buy real estate. Renting is truly like burning your money. And I get asked that question like quite often. And I always say, well, I bought a house this year and I'm looking to buy another one. The solution for many people is new construction, right? Because interest rates is the biggest hurdle, and interest rates affect our monthly payment drastically.
Yeah.
But if you can lock in a 3.99 fixed FHA rate, I mean, we're back to COVID rates, right? And you can absolutely obtain that. I've gotten multiple people, I mean, probably this year, almost 20 home buyers into new construction, brand new homes
Wild.
for less than $2,000 a month and less than $10,000 total out of pocket.
That is insane. So in 2025, one of the best ways is just go new construction. They have a lot more flexibility with like rates,
Builder warranties. I got free washer, dryer, blinds, garage door opener, free fridge. So there's so many incentives, especially for first-time home buyers, to get all appliances covered, all closing costs, title policy paid, affordable monthly payment. Comes with the home warranty.
It's crazy.
You know, so many home buyers, they'll purchase their first home and put all their money into that.
Yeah.
Next thing you know, on a 1985 home, the HVAC goes out. You get such a level of peace of mind with a new construction home because guess what? That HVAC goes out, it's under warranty.
Yeah.
Call the builder, he comes and fixes that. So that's a big thing for today's home buyer in this economy. They don't have a lot of extra cash, and those warranties really go far, along with the lower interest rate.
Okay, so what would you say to a home seller? Hey, I want to sell my house. What's your advice?
Your biggest competition is new construction. Newsflash. So these builders are giving these buyers an amazing deal, and it's hard to compete with them. Your house needs to be in good shape. This is no longer 2021 where you can throw any house in the market. You don't have to prep it. You don't have to paint. You don't even have to clean. In 2021,
it's a brand spanking new.
Literally, in 2021, you could throw any house in the market and just sells. That is not the market we're in. You're going to have to like fully prep your home and price it appropriately because buyers right now are super picky. And they either want a pristine, perfect house with wow factor, or they want you to give them a good deal.
That's wild. And so it really comes down to if you're a home seller, you have to strategically price your house to compete with so many other factors besides interest rates. You know, there are so many other things that people need to be paying attention to. All right, Mariah, how can people find you? Where? What's the best place agents watching this, families watching this can go and find you and so on? Every agent is going to want to copy you as they should, you know? And so how do we find you?
You can find me on Instagram at Mariah.salesdfw. My Instagram is really my resume, so find me on there.
It should be. And it's fire. And it's pink.
It's pink.
It's pink. Where's that from?
So when I was in real estate school, I'm like, well, Keller Williams is red, Caldwell is blue. I'm my own brand. I want to be pink. And that's funny. And I've stuck with it. I've been very consistent.
Yeah. Like your signs, email, like, I mean, yeah, it's your water bottles, you know, like
my laptop. I almost wrapped my car pink too.
Oh my goodness. That would be next level actually. But like, okay, do people notice or no that like?
Absolutely. And that's what really kicked it for me. Once people started DMing me and they're like, I saw this in pink today and I thought of you. Anytime I see pink, I think of you.
It works.
I've had so many people, I saw your pink sign. Like when I see pink, I think Mariah, and I'm like, that's my goal.
That's wild. Okay, so pink is now your brand.
Yes.
Like people just think pink Mariah, and so on. Mariah, it was so fun. having you on. Thanks so much for sharing some of your secrets and like what works for you, from like Facebook ads to the videos you make on social media and so on. And so, any last words for real estate agents in the current market we're in to encourage them?
Just get out there and hustle. You've got to do the hard work. The only way to success is to really get out there and hustle, especially in this market.
That's amazing. Thanks so much. Appreciate you coming on your crazy busy schedule. I mean, this month is probably the biggest month of your career, right?
Yes, sir, it is.
That's amazing. What I hear is this: it's families being served, families being helped. And so it's amazing what you're doing and the impact you're having, not only in the industry, but in so many homes out there. Thanks for being on.
Thank you, Steve.